Tell everyone the truth, Leah, my brother said, raising his wine glass. You're 34, living in Mom's house, paying nothing and calling it sacrifice. You're a freeloader with better excuses. My mother stared at her plate. I sat alone at the end of the Christmas table, in my grocery store uniform, while Grant smiled like he had exposed me. He did not know why I had asked the landlord to come at 8. 3 months earlier, Mom slipped on her back steps and fractured her ankle. I moved into her spare room because she could not drive, cook safely, or manage the stairs. Grant visited twice. He claimed Mom's rent had increased by $600 monthly. He showed us a letter bearing the landlord's name and insisted he had negotiated a family arrangement. If Mom paid him directly, he would handle everything. Mom trusted him because Grant was the successful one. He sold kitchen cabinets, wore polished shoes, and reminded us he had bought a house before 30. I stocked shelves overnight and handled inventory reports for a grocery chain. To him, that meant I was barely employed. I gave Mom $800 monthly for food, utilities, and rent. Grant collected another $1,400 from her pension. Still, past due notices appeared under the door. Grant always grabbed them first. One morning, I found a torn envelope in the recycling. The landlord's return address was correct, but the payment portal inside differed from Mom's old lease. I checked both websites. One belonged to the management company. The other was registered only 6 weeks earlier. Its confirmation emails came from Grant's cabinet business domain. I felt sick before angry. As children, Grant waited outside my classroom whenever Dad forgot us. I had spent years believing that protective boy remained inside the man mocking my wages. With Mom's permission, I copied the notices, downloaded her statements, and compared them with the landlord's ledger. 9 payments, totaling $12,600, had never reached the company. Mom whispered, "Please don't destroy your brother over money." "He did this," I said. "I'm only stopping it." The landlord, Miguel Santos, agreed to meet after I sent him the forged notices. He asked me not to confront Grant while he checked records and consulted his attorney. Meanwhile, Grant announced Mom could no longer afford the house. He proposed moving her into assisted living. Then he offered to take over the lease and let me remain for $500 monthly, provided I cleaned and watched his children. Then I understood. He had not only stolen the rent, he wanted the house. At Christmas dinner, Grant arrived with a folder and an audience. He told everyone I had drained Mom's savings while pretending to help. Then he slid an agreement beside my plate. "Sign tonight," he said. "Leave by New Year's and I won't report you for elder exploitation." Mom's face crumpled. Grant had chosen the threat he knew would frighten me most, losing her trust. I pushed the agreement back. "Show them the rent receipts." He laughed. "You mean the rent you never paid?" A knock sounded. Grant smiled. "Perfect. The landlord can explain what happens to squatters." Miguel entered with a binder and Dana Price, the management company's compliance director. Grant stood to greet them as if they were witnesses for him. Miguel remained standing. "Mrs. Parker's rent was never increased." Grant blinked, then recovered. "There must be confusion. I handled the negotiations." Dana opened the binder. "We have no emails, calls, or agreements with you. These notices are counterfeit." My relatives stopped looking at me. Grant pointed toward my bedroom. "She made them. She has access to Mom's files." That was his last mistake. I placed my phone on the table and opened the confirmations. Each receipt had been sent from Grant's company address. Dana added domain records, while Miguel produced the real ledger showing every missing payment. Then Mom opened her banking app. Each transfer had gone to GP Housing Services. Grant's initials were GP. He turned on Mom. "You told me I could manage your money." "I told you to pay my rent," she said. Dana removed another document from the binder. Grant's lease application, emailed that morning, claiming Mom had permanently moved out and naming himself as replacement tenant. Miguel had rejected it and referred the forged papers to the county fraud unit. Grant looked at me. "You set me up." "No," I said. "I kept records." Miguel confirmed Mom's tenancy was secure because I had paid the arrears directly. Grant's wife, Emily, admitted she had found unexplained deposits and would provide statements. By February, Grant pleaded guilty to forgery and financial exploitation, repaid the money, and received probation with restitution. Emily separated from him. Most relatives apologized, though apologies could not erase how quickly they believed him. Mom and I stayed until her ankle healed, then moved into a smaller apartment together. On our first night, she handed me the lease and said, "Your name belongs beside mine." I signed because family should never require humiliation as the price of shelter.